everyone. Great to have you here for our very special Redox and Animals talk. So really looking forward to talking to you all about animals. And we have a couple of really amazing special guests this evening who do really, really fabulous things with animals. But first, I'm just going to give you a little bit of an overview of Redox and what it is all about. And then that'll just take a few minutes, like maybe 5 minutes. And that's definitely not the right presentation. So let me just close that. Okay, that's the right presentation. All right. Chat, who's chat? Echoing. Can you hear me now? Is it stopped echoing now that I muted everyone? Yeah, okay, perfect. Yeah, I think it was because some people were unmuted that were getting a bad echo. All right, so let me just start up my slideshow here about all things animals and Redox. So who on the call has some pets that they love? I have pets that I love. Lots of people have animals that they love, right? So these are our little fur children, our toy poodles. So they are very, very pampered. And yeah, they're pretty amazing. So this is Teddy here, and this one here is Tinkerbell, and this is Titus, this one down here, and my other Truffle isn't in the pictures. So really interesting. I have had these puppies for quite a while, and I had Teddy and Truffle first. So I have a little Redox story with them, and we had them, and we decided that we were going to have one litter of puppies with Teddy and Truffle, because they were from separate litters. So, you know, it was no interbreeding or anything like that. And we decided when we were going to do that, that we would give Truffle a Sia every day. So we gave Truffle a Sia every day, and all of the way through her pregnancy. We gave her that. When she was like feeding the puppies, we did as well. And it was really interesting because Truffle was not like super healthy when we got her, but we, you know, got her pretty healthy. And Teddy, the father dog, actually has quite a few anxiety issues, and he also
Nicole, we don't see your screen.
Oh, really? Why can't you see my screen?
Black screen.
Okay.
We can see the screen.
We can see the screen,
but it's like you're not doing a slideshow. You've actually got all the slides on the side.
it's just
Directly
loading.
on
16s, but some of your puppies.
You can see the puppies.
Yeah, that's
I can't see the puppies even. I've just got it loading.
Okay. Share. Let's try again. Okay, hang on. This is I'd say that this is to do with my really not great internet. So, okay, let me know if you can see this now, because I did have slides. Can everyone see that?
No.
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 No?
We can see the puppies, Nicole, but it's not
your poodles, it's a baby.
Is that what you mean?
Slide
Babies?
16.
No, that's...
little baby poodles. No,
It's not, it's only one.
Yeah.
No, that's definitely, okay, something really strange is going on, because I'm not...
It's just loading, Nicole, that's all. It just says you've got the circle as if it's loading, and it says it's starting screen sharing, but there's obviously not enough bandwidth to get it up there.
Let me see if I can try different internet. Oh, I love my internet challenges that I'm having at the moment. That's sarcasm. Can anyone see that?
No.
Yes.
So,
Seriously?
Yes, same thing.
No.
Same slide keeps coming up.
Wow, that is so weird, because I can't even see that slide.
Yeah, slide 16 we keep getting.
Okay. See what's going on and see if I can. Okay. Sorry, everyone. Okay. Let me try it one more time. Thanks for letting me know. See, it's you too can run a global business when your internet doesn't work. Kind of. Oh my goodness. Seriously, I've had like a few meltdowns recently over this internet situation. Oh, now my slides didn't even, they haven't even saved now. All right, well, I'll just talk about my puppy dogs, okay? So I've got my puppy dogs, which you can't see the photos of, and my presentation has completely gone terrible. So Anyway, we'll just continue on. So I had these dogs and we thought we would have a litter of puppies from them. And Truffle wasn't super healthy and Teddy had some musculoskeletal issues and things like that. And we gave them a SIA. And so we had a litter of 4 puppies and we kept 2 of those puppies because I found it really hard to part with them. And the interesting thing is, so the mum dog is like 4.2 kilos and the dad is like 4.9 kilos. So they're quite small. But both of the puppies that stayed with us, one of them grew to 7.9 kilos and he's like so healthy. He's like super, super healthy. And then the other one, she is like 5 kilos and they like don't have any of the anxiety issues or anything like that. So it was just a really interesting observation in using the Redox with animals. And we've also experienced the same thing when we had our daughter. My husband and I both had a lot of health issues and Justin had 3 operations by the time he was 5 and I was in the emergency room 2 to 3 nights a week until I was like 5 or 6 years old. And we enjoy, like I drank a lot of ASEA in pregnancy. I used a lot of it when I was breastfeeding, given it to Joy. And she has like, she doesn't even get sick. She just gets like a little cold sometimes, which doesn't even bother her. She just keeps playing. So super interesting to kind of see that generational difference with using ASEA products. So I was going to share a few short slides about ASEA just to give you a little bit of an overview of the products, but it doesn't look like I will be doing that this evening since my slides are not working. So I just wanted to introduce our really amazing special guests who are going to share with you a little bit about what their experience has been with using the ASEA and Redox with animals. So first we're going to start with, I think we'll start with Nicole, another Nicole, so that should be really easy to remember her name. So Nicole Harrison is an animal lover and you breed dogs as well, right? So you've had some really amazing experiences with your animals. So would you like to share a little bit about, how you were introduced to ASEA and what experiences you had? I will try and share your slides and I will see how I go while you start.
So a very good friend of mine, Debbie, introduced me to ASEA. She sent me a video because I had cancer. And she sent me the video of the guy that had hurt his eye with the pin from the mower and couldn't see. And when I seen that, I was absolutely amazed. So that started my journey on ASEA. And as I've learned along the way, when any of the animals get sick or hurt, all the stuff that I've seen, like I've spoken to, well, on Messenger, Beth, about horses, and I've watched her videos. So this first slide, I hope you can all see, is a puppy that's about 2 or 3 days old, and all of a sudden came up with the lump on its head, and we didn't know what it was. She wouldn't drink. She wouldn't move. We thought we were going to lose her. So I said to my friend Michelle, who owns all the dogs, and I just help her out and show them, I said, let's give her some ASEA. So we tube fed her some ASEA, as much as she could take, and we put her back in the incubator, and that was about 7 o'clock in the morning. At 12 o'clock, we took her out and we gave her some more. And then she started wanting to suck. So we put her on the bitch and she actually started drinking. And from there, she just got better and better. The lump started to recede, but as she got better, you could tell that her motor skills weren't normal. She'd sort of go round and round in a circle like she wasn't balanced, but that also went away. So we think she was probably stung by something that's right on her soft spot there. And we could see a little red dot. So we think probably poisoned, and there was just from the pus and everything that was in there, just put pressure on the brain, and that's why it was affecting her motor skills. So she grew up and could walk and eat and play and was a normal puppy. So it was amazing that what it did for her. Otherwise, we would have lost her. There was nothing we could do.
It's amazing. What a great result. So I think we've got some other photos here as well, right? So this
Yeah.
horse. Tell us about this story.
So this is my horse. His name's Trouble. He hurt himself while she was away at a competition helping her boss. When she came back, he was really swollen. So we tried a couple other things on him, and then I said to her, just get the ASEA and put it straight into the wound. So she was doing that. I think it was like 60 mils every night. She'd just run right down the leg where it was swollen, and within 24 hours, the swelling had gone and it's starting to heal. That was only a couple of weeks ago.
Cool. That's amazing.
And it took the heat out of his leg, and just made him more comfortable.
That's fantastic. And I think I got one more. Oh, this is the same horsey.
Yeah, that's so that one there, if in the other slides, Nicole, you'll see where he's standing under a shelter.
Yeah. And then
So where it's the full body shot.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I think
So
that's
not that one, but he's standing under a shelter, just on his own.
yeah. That's all the slides that I got put together.
So
So,
what I was trying to show in the beginning, just before Shanae went to her new job, Trouble got colic, and I'd been talking to Beth about horses with ulcers because he's an ex-race horse,
mm-hmm.
and he shows symptoms of having an ulcer. So I was talking to Beth about it and how to best administer to a horse. And I've never given a horse anything rectally in my life.
Mm-hmm.
But Beth said it's very easy. So I hadn't tried it yet, but he got colic this one day, and we had to call a vet. And because he hadn't been vaccinated, it's hard to get a vet to a horse. So Trouble was in trouble. And I went, well, Nicole, you've just got to do it today. He needs to have this rectally. So I went inside and I got a syringe and made up a little short pipe to go over that so I could do it. So I gave him 240 mils orally to start with, and I gave him 120 rectally. He was sweating. He was wanting to lay down. He was in a lot of pain. Within an hour, that all went away. And by the time we got a vet there, he was all better and the vet didn't have to do anything for his colic.
That's amazing.
So from that day, yeah, absolutely amazing.
That's got to be.
So from that day, sorry?
It's got to be a lot cheaper than a vet bill as well. Just giving.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. So from that day, Trouble has to see every day now.
Mm-hmm.
So then Shanae moved out to her job, where the picture is of him there, and they clipped him. And normally when you clip a horse, they go really light in colour and they look really horrible because he's a lot darker than that if we could show the other photo. And so she sent me the photos afterwards, the shine in his coat and just how much, like how it stayed dark is just amazing because generally when you clip a horse, they're really light under all that dark coat. But his coat has just stayed amazing, and I believe that's from the ASEA.
That's amazing. Looks super healthy. So you have any other little animal experiences you want to share with us? Or they're the main ones?
I'd use it for anything and everything. But as you know, I show the dogs. So a couple of weeks ago, we had a weekend of overseas judges coming, and little Minnie had a little bit of a disagreement with her mum, and she ended up with a swollen leg. the night before the show. She couldn't walk on it. It was swollen. And I'm like, okay. So I gave her straight up 60 mils of ASEA. And then I got the Renew 28. And I did the 3 in 5 twice in half an hour. So that was about 7 o'clock. At 11 o'clock, she was out the back running around the yard and the swelling was all gone. We went to the show the next day and she won.
Wow.
And continued to win over the next couple of days. So
that's super
yeah.
cool. So from really sick to winning. That's incredible.
Yes.
That's fantastic. Thank
Yeah.
you so much for coming on and sharing your animal experiences with us. That's awesome. Super, super amazing. So
Thank you.
yeah, we have another special guest with us tonight, Mez Anderson, who actually was a professional horse trainer. I believe that Mez has retired now for many, many years, and she's just had like some phenomenal experiences with animals and redox and using them. So Mez, I'm going to unmute you. So share with us a little bit about how you got introduced to ASEA and the first experience that you had with using ASEA with animals.
Okay, hi everyone. Yeah, I actually retired a couple of years ago, but I was training horses for 30 years, so I've had my fair share of injuries and problems. But I first started using ASEA on myself after I had foot surgery. I had a bunion operation, a tendon reattached, and a joint fusion all at once in 4 different places on my foot, and wasn't recovering too well. So heard about the Renew and very skeptical. Oh yeah, how can this do it? So had some tubes sent to me, rubbed it on many, many times during the day. Within 3 days, I had no pain and I was able to walk on my foot. And I went, oh, this is pretty amazing. So I continued to delve into it a little bit more. And of course, then I started on the ASEA. So myself, I've had the most amazing miracles happen to my whole body. Now, being a racehorse trainer and a lot of other horse sports, we have to be really, really careful with what we give racehorses pre-racing, because nearly everything we use is swabbable. And we're not even meant to use anything the 24 hours pre-race, because they will find it in their blood tests. So I think I used it on a few little minor cuts and scrapes. They didn't require a vet, but I just started using it and watching wounds heal over that I thought would take 3 weeks were gone in 5 days. Unfortunately, I'm really sorry I can't share my photos. My computer died yesterday and he hasn't got it back to me until tomorrow. So it was just no time to get them off my phone. I think most of them are on the Renew page. If you just Google horses and Mez, you'll find many of the photos. So I then had a little horse, and she'd been up racing quite well, and she just stopped eating. She was a really good eater, and she just stopped eating. And my horses used to live out in paddocks all day long, so they had access to grass and hay, very natural way of training. And I tried a few things and nothing would help. So, called the vet and blood tests, and then had to send the blood results over to a guy in Perth who's a guru at reading bloods. He came back and said, blah, 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 blah. And I put her on all these drugs, which didn't work. There was $1,000 worth of drugs. And within a week, she was fading away. I couldn't work her or do anything. And I was standing down with her, talking to her as I often used to. And I just went, light bulb, you idiot, Marilyn, ASEA. So I thought, now how am I going to get this into her? She was diagnosed with a hind gut issue. Of course, the quickest way is rectally. So I've gone up to the stables and got a glove, got a syringe, bottle of ASEA, and down I've marched down in the paddock. She was a very gentle horse. So I started syringing it in rectally, and she didn't want to accept it orally at all. So I just kept on pumping her full of it rectally. within 3 or 4 days, she was eating. And the more I put in it, the better she ate. So I'd stopped using all the drugs. She wouldn't eat them. She hated them being pasted down her mouth. So I just threw them away and used the ASEA, and the recovery was remarkable. It took me a bit of time, but I started giving it to her orally, and I've got some fabulous videos of her literally sucking it out of the syringe. She recovered, went back into work and started racing and winning. And I've never seen a horse, most horses after their race, doesn't matter how fit they are, they will pull up and have a good blow. And that gives you an indication the horse has put in. But she would win the race, come back into the mounting yard and just smile at me and going, "What's next, Mum?" I'd take her home, she'd eat, and within a few days I'd go, "She could race again very soon." And she was a horse that I used to give 3 weeks between runs. And she was backing up every 2 weeks from there on in. I kept her on the ASEA. Her recovery, her stamina, everything about her was just remarkable. So, internally it does wonders. Another horse I had who was in full work decided to have a little argument with a fence, as they often do. And he took the whole inside of his hock, which is the knee joint of his hind leg on the inside. And I could actually fit my fist in there. It was a pretty bad injury. So I got him up to the stables, cleaned it down, syringed ASEA all over it. I had to bandage it before I could get the vet there. She was going to be 2 hours away. I also packed it with Renew and bandaged the whole hock up. Within 2 hours, the vet arrived and unwrapped it all and looked at it and said, "Oh, when did he do this? Yesterday?" And I said, "No, 2 hours ago." And she said, no, it's more than 24 hours old because of the healing. And I just grinned and I said, yeah, that's okay. Can we stitch it up? And she stitched most of it up. And she said, "You'll probably lose the front skin and it'll take 3 to 4 months of bandaging and treatment." So once she'd stitched it and she started going to wrap it, I said, "Hang on, I've got a syringe full of ASEA." And I made her leave a little hole in the wound and I started squirting it in. She's going, "No." I said, "My horse, I will do this." I did try and explain it, but unfortunately a lot of vets don't want to know about it. And then she was putting a big non-stick dressing, so I covered it in Renew gel. And that was Sunday night, and she said, "I'll be back on Friday." So I left it alone. Friday we took the bandage off. And please go onto the Renew page and bring up these photos. Within 5 days, the whole wound had filled out. I did lose a little patch of skin off it. The vet just came back and said, "Did we lose a week?" I said, "No." Anyway, we changed the bandage. We put the ASEA and Renew on it. I was also rubbing the Renew gel around the leg, around the bandage, because it was quite a big bandage and you couldn't get anywhere near the wound. Yeah, that's it. Well done, Nicole.
The screen share's working. Hooray.
So you can see the first one was quite a decent injury. Then the second one to the right was 5 days later. Then the next one, look, if I hang on, I don't know that I can see the dates. No, I haven't got them on there. It broke down a little bit, and I'm a very big believer in using what we call copper sulfate or bluestone on wounds. And anyway, long story short, I kept on treating it every 3 to 4 days. And at 3 weeks, I sent the horse home with no bandaging and a couple of tubes of Renew. The last photo is the wound 6 weeks after I sent it home. So that is 9 weeks. That's only 2 months. And the vet said 3 to 4 months of bandaging and stabling. And for anyone that knows horses, take note of the lack of scar tissue around that injury. That horse went back into work and won races after that, and he never had any stiffness or scar tissue reducing his movement of his leg.
It's
And that,
amazing.
yeah, that was incredible, that one.
Would that be like, you know, they normally wouldn't race again after something like that, Mez?
Look, quite often what happens, horses heal up with a lot of scar tissue and thickening around wounds like that. And the scar tissue, if anyone's had surgery and had adhesions on their scar, it restricts movement. And being that close to the hock, it could have restricted his power engine. You know, they power off from their hind legs and he would have had stiffness and soreness. So it probably wasn't an injury that would have prevented him, but it could have been if not treated correctly. I've seen many wounds that people have tried to heal and they make a mess of it.
Yeah.
And the seer just healed it brilliantly. So that was that one. I've also, Shirley Hunter, a girlfriend of mine, she's a jockey and her husband trains. I think there's some photos on there of a hoof injury. She had a horse that had what we call a quarter crack in his hoof, and it came down from the top, the coronet. And when a horse walks, they obviously put pressure on their hoof and it keeps splitting open. Now, they had a very, very clever farrier that actually wired it together to help prevent it splitting. And Shirley was squirting, this is it, was squirting a sear into it and rubbing Renew onto the bulbs of the heel. And I think that was a matter of weeks. And a hoof usually grows down. It actually grew across and closed.
It says 1 week on the post there.
One week, was it? Yeah. And I think they kept the wire there for a couple of weeks just to make sure. And then that horse probably went back into work pretty quick after that. But that was normally be a 6-month healing to get that quarter crack to heal. You've got to have it come right down the hoof and then cut out at the bottom. Otherwise, they just keep on coming from the coronet. So that was another amazing injury we had heal up. I've used it on soft tissues, on tendons and suspensories. As I said, being a non-swabbable thing, that it could be used close to racing, shall we say, because there was no detection of it on the horse. Actually, another really good animal story is another one of Shirley's customers. He's a greyhound trainer. He had a litter of puppies and one was blind. And the vet came and checked them all at a couple of days old. And, well, no, it was more than that. It must have been 10 days old. They had their eyes open. And this little puppy had really bad cloudy eyes. And the vet examined him and he just said, look, he's going to be blind. Put him down. And dear old, I think his name's Graham, said, no. And he started spraying a sear into the eyes and rubbing Renew around the eye. That puppy got its sight back. I couldn't tell you how long it was, but he got his sight back. And guess what? He grew into a fine greyhound and he won the other week. And he's turning out to be a very special greyhound. And the old guy is just over the moon. He saved the life and he's now being repaid with this dog winning races.
That's amazing.
Yeah, so, you know, Shirley and I work pretty closely together with animals, horses, dogs, it doesn't matter what. And we have had some amazing recoveries. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Mez, and thank you, Nicole, for sharing your amazing, amazing animal stories, because, you know, a lot of us have animals that are very close in our hearts that we want to look after. I've seen lots of people who spend money on their animals before they'll spend money on themselves. So thanks so much. The recording of this call will get posted tomorrow if you want to share it with anyone. Apologies for the technical difficulties at the start there. I'm going to stop the recording for this call, and then if you want to stay on, we're going to start our team training now that we have our new format of our team training start up straight after this. So stop.